Y'all there? Man, you should have seen what just happened. Big old armadillo just run by. If you're sitting there going, where, then you ain't from around here, because armadillos come out at night. They ain't out running around during the daytime. Except in the middle of the woods once in a while, they snuffle around. Armadillos are hilarious. Bless their little leprosy-carrying hearts. They are just funny, because they can't see worth a darn. And at night, they just go wandering around digging up people's yards and getting in trouble and stuff. And you can just about walk up on them. Well, the problem is that when you do that, they don't get a little scared. They get real scared. And you wouldn't think that an animal that weighs like 87 pounds like them little things do, they're all bone, you wouldn't think that they could leap high into the air. But armadillos can flat leap. And apparently there's one species of armadillo somewhere, not here, but it's called something like the hairy screaming armadillo or something, and apparently it's fuzzy and screams. Which I kind of would like to meet one of them. Be like, scream for me. Come on, don't break, don't break. I know I'm hitting above the edge. Every once in a while when you're doing that, you be going along and you just get a knot. Don't keep hitting that knot. A knot right there. Don't keep hitting the knot. If you don't have a broke sharp edge beside it, once it rounds off and becomes a knot, you've got to come up with a different plan. You can go in there with indirect or something. But think of knots on the square edge just like diamonds on the square edge. You cannot just go all gangsta on them and not expect to have a two-piece resolution to your situation, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. It's really funny. A lot of times if I go in the house after I've been outside napping and my wife always looks at my face, and if I look like I'm disgusted or something like that, she goes, "Did you break something?" She's real sweet about it. She don't understand why anybody cares about a rock anyway, but she does appreciate the fact that I don't mind her lacking shoes if she don't mind me lacking rocks. Life is about compromise. Am I sitting there doing all that off camera? No, you can see that. All right. My balance issue is resolving. It ain't gone, but it's resolving, and it's to the point where I believe if I twanged this at a screaming armadillo, it probably would fly relatively straight. I still don't have a great angle on shooting a flake at that hinge though. But I'm starting to feel like, you know, dinner's fixing to be ready probably, and I'm just fixing to go all ugly on this thing and try and muscle things across, which is what I've told y'all not to do. See, I've got this little hump, little hinge. So I'm going to blast a couple of flakes across that direction, generally speaking, and see what happens. They're gone. See, I went real obliquely with that. It was over there, and instead of coming in, I shot kind of an angle. And that's always a risk. And the other thing is, when you hit that hard, you make a big old bulb of percussion. So if you needed that profile, it would be better to wait and get closer and do your hitting. But oh well. I think instead of hitting this particular one, I'm going to try and run a big old pressure flake along that ridge on the tip right there. I just work off one side or the other of this notch pad sometimes. Came down to there and it did lower that. And I didn't really set that up correctly because I didn't have a bevel on that platform. I'm going to run another one right beside it. There's the first one. This one overrode it and ran down, so that kind of eliminated that little issue. So I've got some balance now pretty much on my tip there. Really all this stuff up here I could do with pressure work. It all depends on the rock, the quality of the rock too. If the rock is fairly workable. Somebody was asking that the other day too, you know, online, you know, when do you use pressure, indirect, and when do you use direct? Well, it depends. You'd like to use whatever works for you in a given situation, and there's a number of variables that only you can ascertain when you're in the situation. The first variable is the rock itself and what it'll tolerate. Second is your skill level and what you can do with different techniques. And that's going to change over time too. And hopefully by the time you start getting yourself in situations with a particular rock, you will have, when you initially start reducing a rock, you should be paying great attention to how the rock works and what it prefers. You know, can you hit it fast? Is it okay with that? Do you need to hit it slower with more? What works? There's some stuff, and I don't remember if I've talked about, I keep saying I don't remember. Well, I don't. A lot of the real hard stones don't like speed at all. They are workable, but not with speed. You have to overcome them with big mass and big force, delivered more slowly. Like for instance, there are a number of rocks that you can pressure flake them and they work fine, and you can run pressure flakes on them. And if you try and percuss them, it doesn't work. And I know that sounds strange, but it's true. I think I showed a picture of online, but I don't know that I showed it on a video. But anyway, a guy gave me a piece of really bad rhyolite. And a lot of rhyolite is kind of unworkable, although some of it's great. Or some of it's workable. I wouldn't call it great. Some people might. Don't want to get any rhyolite fights here. But that rhyolite, it just wouldn't percuss well at all. So basically, all I did was I used percussion to try and get it to a size that I could just start pressure flaking it. Now, one of the problems that you have on a lot of flake points is, see how the original flake is still here? Well, it's pretty close to being in balance now. So I'm actually going to leave a substantial amount of that end unflaked. And you say to yourself, well, how can you do that? You know, the flake police are going to get you. And I'm like, don't care. You know, if the issue is you want to have a tool, then I'm going to make a tool. And if the tool is more or less straight, if it needs to be straight, and if the edges are more or less sharp, which is what the game was in the first place, then it's a tool. I don't feel like, since I've gotten comfortable more with the camera, I don't feel like I'm delivering as much useful information. Ah, just broke it. My bad. What I was trying to do there was take short flakes, so I was pushing, pulling down, and I was right in the middle of the pad, and it's a huge error. And really, the way that I feel about it is it's y'all's fault. Okay, let's see. I don't want to end on that though. What can I do here to be better? Oh my God, look at this piece of rhyolite. That's just sitting there. I was just talking about rhyolite. Okay. Where's a big freaking hammer stone? I wonder if I could even take a flake off this sucker. What do you think? I think that's a good way to end this one. You know, you go from flake technology to spalling rhyolite in one vid. Who would do that except me? And it's because I'm freeze cracked. See y'all later. Bye.